Okay, guys, so I think we're live. I'm just going to check it on my phone and make sure we have the chat up and running on the phone. And as most of you will see from the title, I have Mr. Gil Skillz himself waiting in the basement patiently to come up. So I'll just do the old usual setting everything up on the phone, leave it to the last minute, of course. What other way would I do it? Videos, volume down. We don't need to be having the echo. Okay, so that up for the chat. And we're going to just get everything else set up. Okay, so we'll just say a quick hi to a few people that have popped in there quickly before we bring up Gil. Mark Stone Limited, great to have you in. Barry West, Muriatic Acid, Ian Matthews. Let me see who else is in there. Did I miss anyone? No, that's all we have so far in the chat. So first off, guys, thanks for giving it up. I know it's a different day, different time. Well, different day, same time. But Bob being very busy during the week with his work and stuff, we've come to an arrangement to do it today on the Sunday instead. So we mightn't get as many in, but I want to still do this interview because I find him one of the first scrappers that I came across on YouTube when I got into scrapping years ago. And I always wanted to have a good chat like this, and it was very helpful when I set up my channel with advice and stuff like that. So I won't hold it any longer. We'll get him up here and we'll have him ready to go. So here he is with his Scrapping Irish logo. Welcome. Your volume is off, sir, I think. Still no volume.
Darn it, darn Yeti.
There you go.
Hello, it's great to have be here.
So Ian Matthews saying hi to you there in the chat.
How you doing, Ian?
So again, as I said, we chatted a bit off before we came on there. So again, I'd like to thank you again for giving up your time. I know that you've only a certain amount of spare time at work and other things going on. So to give me 30 minutes of it, I really appreciate it.
Time well spent.
Well, hopefully. You mightn't say that when you're finished. You're probably going off and go, oh, geez, I should have done something else.
Never, never.
So I'll start off probably straight away with what I ask everyone is, how did you get into scrapping? Any of the scrappers, I always ask this question, what got you into scrapping?
I've always been a tinkerer. I guess it would have to be when I started working for these cellular. I started working for a company called US Cellular, selling cell phones and whatnot. And I dabbled with fixing some phones. There was a repair shop in the place that I had worked at. And I started repairing cell phones there. And it kind of migrated from the tinkering with the cell phones into, oh, hey, I can make money, accumulating metals and selling metals as well. So it kind of grew and blossomed from there, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a born tinkerer.
And when you say you said you got into it at the beginning, did you just look at the e-waste side of it, or were you looking at all metals at the time, or what were you looking
I was looking at all metals at the time. I mean, even right now, even today, I'm still looking at the metals aspect of it, and I'm just starting to get into the e-waste. I'm starting to learn the terminologies and what to look for on the boards and things of that nature, so you can maximize the amount of money. And all this time, I've actually been giving a lot of my motherboards to the Moose Scrapper for a while, just because he knows what to do with them. But over the last, I'd say 2-3 years, I've started to accumulate those myself. And eventually I'm going to make a run to Ohio to board sort. And So
that's it. So then, we say you're doing your metals, doing whatever. What then made you go on to the YouTube? What was your decision, or how did you get about going on to YouTube?
That was kind of a separate thing. I've always been an advocate of DIY, and the empowerment that it brings people to do things themselves, save some money by fixing, or replacing the brakes yourself, that kind of thing. And there was one day where I was replacing something on the car. I can't remember what it was. But I looked it up on YouTube, and I was able to find a channel that showed me roughly how to do something like that. And it just kind of inspired me to say, hey, you know, I can create a channel like that. You know, there are other YouTubers that I like watching on the regular, and there were scrappers at the time that I liked watching, like Moose Scrapper. There was this guy called Barnacle Nerdgasm, which had nothing to do with scrapping. He was more into technology and things of that nature. But they both kind of inspired me to start my own YouTube channel and start creating videos about DIY based on life necessity. Like if I had to change my brakes or, you know, rotors, I created a video about it. If I changed my serpentine belt, I created a video about it. And then I said, well, I'm doing the scrapping anyway. Maybe this would be interesting for people to watch. Maybe people like to see stuff taken apart and seeing what makes them tick. So I started putting those in the videos as well. And that's how Gil Skillz kind of evolved.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like, and then you went on from that. Then we'd say, I've been watching your videos for years or whatever, and then I got into YouTube, and then you started doing like growth streams as well for a while. There, you were kind of pushing channels. So, how did you find that? As in, did you enjoy doing it, or was it just grief?
Well, it was born out of grief, to be honest with you. I mean, of course, YouTube had this thing where you could become monetized after, I think it was 10,000 views or something like that, way back in the day. And so I was monetized, and I had like 575 subscribers at the time. And they changed their policy. They changed their policy to the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in order to get monetized. So they sent out emails to everybody that was monetized saying, hey, you're not going to be monetized anymore if you don't meet this criteria. That was awful nice of YouTube to send you a 30-day notice to try to get to that standard. So I tried. to get to that standard. I pushed and pushed and pushed and reached out to my coworkers, and I visited websites, and I did whatever not websites, other YouTube creators. I did what I could to get there. So, but anyway, long story short, the day before the deadline, I made it. I reached the 4,000 watch hours. I reached the 1,000 subscribers. I was over 1,000 at the time. YouTube still took away my monetization. Oh, right. And I had to wait 4 months to get it back. And I knew that there were several other YouTubers that were affected by it. And quite honestly, it upset me. Yeah. So I decided to start doing live streams to help YouTube creators grow. You know, tips and tricks, you know, recognition, shout outs, things of that nature to try to help people to get to those standards. And then that evolved from there. Okay. And what was my next question? Oh, yeah. Where do you see your channel head now? I know you've divided your channel into two separates now, where you used to have your live with your Gil Skillz normal channel, and you've separated them out. So what was the reason behind that? Was it because you wanted to keep them both for certain reasons, or? Good question. Because the YouTube algorithm, because I started live streaming regularly, it was pretty much every day. YouTube didn't recognize my channel as a content channel necessarily anymore in terms of like uploading videos. They said, well, this is turning into a live stream channel. And it was affecting the algorithm, and it was starting to hurt the views on my uploads. So I decided, heck, well, might as well just separate it out. We'll do the live streams on one channel, and we'll do the content on the other channel and see how it works out. And it's worked out pretty well. Okay. And where do you see both channels heading? Do you see them staying that way all the time, or do you see you adding different stuff to certain channels or whatever? I would always like to add a flavor every now and then if it's appealing. If I think it's appealing to people or people might like it, I'll try something new, or I'll throw a post, in the community tab and see what people think about certain things. My live streaming channel, I want to focus it in and dial it in to specific, like a specific itinerary, helping newer YouTube creators grow. The people that are under 1,000 subscribers, there's genuine talent out there. And I don't want people to get discouraged over the little pitfalls that you or I or anybody else that has been around for a while have gone through. So I want to try to help people overcome that. I would hate to see all that wasted potential, the next Scrap and Pallet Man, for instance. You know,
Yeah.
Scrap Pallet Man's pretty darn successful. There are other people out there that can be successful as well. So long story short, I want to help those people grow. I want to help them overcome those pitfalls and obstacles.
Okay. And we'd say well, you've kind of touched on it there already when you were, so I was going to ask you, what do you think is the main difference between when you started doing YouTube and what it is now?
When I started YouTube, it was a singular focus to help people reach the minimum standards on YouTube to get monetized. Now it's evolved to help anyone regardless where they are. You know what I mean? Whatever, if their goal is to get monetized to make money, I'll help them do it. If their goal is to overcome some obstacle that's preventing them from growing, I'm going to do my best to try to find that obstacle and help them overcome it. But it's not going to be linked just to that monetization goal, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. And we'd say, what advice would you give to someone starting off, we'd say, in both the scrapping community, and then we'd say bring it on to anyone starting off in YouTube? What advice would you give in each one of them?
My advice, it's a two-parter. First and foremost, don't come on YouTube with any expectations of making money, because you're going to quickly fail. Come onto YouTube with a passion, a niche, something that you want to express, and express it in the form of videos. You know, show off your talents, show off your niches, be consistent, be passionate, and don't lose track of that. A lot of YouTubers tend to lose themselves in analytics and numbers. Don't do that with yourself. Your channel is going to grow at its own pace. You're very unique. You're your own person. You're unique. It's going to grow at its own pace. So don't get lost in those analytics, because you'll get frustrated and you'll get burnt out.
Yeah, and we'd say someone thinking about going into scrapping, we'd say there's a lot of young people we'd say they're looking for another, or not even young people, older people looking for another revenue stream, another way of making money. What advice would you give them into getting into scrapping? What would you tell them to look for, or what would you tell them to focus on?
The name of the game, as far as scrapping goes, contacts. Try to gain some contacts. Put some ads in. Like, we have a local Uncle Henry's here. We've got Facebook Marketplace that we put. You know, we can put stuff in, Craigslist, things of that nature. Try to get your name out there if you're looking to make scrapping as a part-time thing, or even if you're trying to do it as a full-time thing. You got to get your name out there so that people realize you're doing it, so that you can start building a base of people that can bring you stuff, or you can go pick up stuff from. Okay.
And with the, on your side of the scrapping, we've already touched on about the e-waste and that, but how do you find for storage of it? Like, cause I don't know how big of an area you have. With me, I can only store small stuff. That's why I concentrate on the e-waste, because I can store it in little tubs and deal with it later.
Yeah.
You know, the big chunks of copper and the steel and the aluminium, I don't have the room for. I mean, neighbours would go mad if I had a back garden full of scrap.
So those are the real treasures, my friend. I mean, you're going for the gold, and I'm not quite there yet in terms of being, you know, like, I've accumulated all that stuff. I've got a ton of jars and various things with like gold flash metal pieces and pins and stuff. And I do want to get into the gold extraction part. But to answer your question, I've got about an acre of land, and I've got out back probably about 4 tons of iron that I've just been accumulating. And to me, it's like money in the bank. Yeah. I've got enough room in my garage where I've got several totes of aluminum. I've got several totes of brass and copper and what else? Motherboards, you know, hard drive boards, things of that nature. I've got the room and the capacity to hold on to it. And I'm looking to keep it long enough to let the prices go up a little bit more so I can have a decent payday. Yeah. Excuse me.
Well, that's what I was looking at. Gold, like, would say gold prices at the moment are, I think, over $1,900 for an ounce of gold, where this time last year I think it was $1,500. So there's a big increase in gold. So copper and stuff like that, I'm presuming, will start to rise as well once the things get back to normality and people start spending money and doing stuff again, and metals are needed again more for car manufacturing and stuff like that. So hopefully you'll start to cash in your money, then it'll come.
Oh, yeah.
Come worthwhile. what's the best thing you like about scrapping? What would you say is the most satisfying thing of scrapping?
The most satisfying thing to me, I mean, is the fact that I'm able to recycle something. I'm recycling these things that I'm getting. I'm taking it and I'm breaking it down, and I'm able to recycle most of the items that I'm gaining out of whatever I'm scrapping. That's actually, and the money is a close second. I won't lie. I mean, we all at the end of the day like the money. But
Yeah.
what fascinates me is that I'm taking something that is junk, turning it around and putting it in a position where it could be a new car door, or it could be, the next computer housing or whatever.
That's good. And what would say what's the most frustrating thing about scrapping then when we're on the opposite side of the coin?
The most frustrating thing about scrapping, I don't know. There could be many, depending on what you're doing. But I don't know. Like we were just talking about me doing, taking apart a blender and not figuring out where the screws are. That can be pretty frustrating.
And and having to do an Ian Matthews on it and use the hammer. Is that
that's right? Using Ian Matthews is going to be so proud of that video. But the frustrating part of scrapping to me also is, the ups and downs of the prices. It's like a stock market out there. Sometimes the prices are up there, sometimes they're not. It breathes just like the economy, and I totally understand that. But when you're ready to go into that scrapyard and get that payday, and you see prices dropping like a stone, that is really frustrating, especially if you're doing it for a living. You know what I mean? But for me, where I'm a part-time scrapper, I can hold on to it and wait.
Yeah, same as like I'm not as say you work full time, and it's not going to be your main income. It's a supplement for maybe spending on something, a new toy or something.
Right, exactly.
So would say ask the same again about YouTube. Would say what do you enjoy about YouTube, and what do you dislike about YouTube?
What I enjoy about YouTube is there's a lot of information out there, good, bad, ugly, but there's a lot of entertainment out there too. There's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of entertainment. I don't have any TV at all. I don't have satellite. I don't have cable. I don't have any of that. If I want entertainment, I go to Netflix or I go to YouTube. Those are really the two avenues. So I enjoy YouTube because I get to watch people like you. What was the other thing? What I like and what
you don't like. What frustrates you about, or what you dislike about YouTube?
I didn't dislike anything about YouTube until I started live streaming. When I started live streaming, it opened up a whole new realm of drama on the YouTube platform that I didn't really particularly care for. It's like soap operas between YouTube creators in some instances. If someone has a beef with this person, they tend to come over and they'll troll, the channels and things like that. And that aspect of it, I don't really particularly care for because it's not necessary.
Yeah. And well, that'll bring me on to another point that I was going to bring up, and I don't know whether you want to talk about it or not. It's up to yourself. Of
course.
The time you were swatted.
Of course, I don't mind talking about that at all.
Yeah, I remember watching that, and to tell you the truth, I was pissed off when it happened to you, because I couldn't see the reasoning behind it at all. It'd be a different thing if you were a YouTuber that would say badmouths other YouTubers or trolls other YouTubers, but all you were doing was trying to help other YouTubers. As far as I could see, you were trying to get channels up, and you were giving advice, and you were helping people out, and then all of a sudden in one of your streams you get swatted. So I'll let you take it from there.
Well, I've been swatted twice since I started live streaming on YouTube. One thing that I've learned is, like, if something like that happens to you, it may not necessarily be someone that has a direct beef with you. It may be that you are associated, or you associate yourself with someone on YouTube that this person has a beef with. And that was the case the second time I was swatted. The first time I had no idea who it was. The second person, I know who it was. I just can't prove it. But it's not a good experience. It's not a fun experience. I can tell you that.
It must be very frightening to be put into that situation.
I can tell you this. If it ever happens to you, and you're not bad mouthing anyone, and you're just on YouTube and you're being positive, and you're not contributing to that level of drama, just don't let it discourage you. I know it's a traumatic experience, but the police are only doing their jobs. you know, they come to the house and they're very professional, and they make you come outside, and you know, you're not dragged to the ground or anything like that. But they were just doing their jobs, and but yeah.
It's yeah, I remember watching it, and first I thought it wasn't real or something like that, but then we soon realized it was. I'd say a lot of people realized it was really happening. You know, it was kind of intense. I would say, and that was just the people watching it, not for the people that were in the middle of it.
The second time I was swatted, I'm pretty sure it was because I associated myself with another channel that had an issue with another channel. You know, there was a beef that was going on, and I happened to be friends with the person that they didn't like. And it was an escalation thing, and I kind of saw it coming because, you know, there was this, we were live streaming and I was porn bombed. Like, someone would try to come up on the panel and saying there's someone that I know, they'd come up and, you know, it would be porn, you know, and trying to get YouTube to discredit you because of that. And you know, it just escalated to the point where, okay, I see cops outside. Let's do this, you know. But anyway, yeah, it's not anything that's going to stop me from continuing to be on YouTube, because it's someone that doesn't know what to do with their life, and they're looking to get into prison. They want to see the world burn.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of it. I personally don't take any heed of the thumbs down or the negative comments and stuff like that, because again, I'm not relying on YouTube, as there's a lot of people who have thrown everything into YouTube, and YouTube is kind of their life, and they take it as, if someone says something bad to them or does something, they take it very personal, where I just kind of brush it off. I still have to get up for work in the morning. I still have to go to work, do my day's work. I'll come home. It doesn't matter what people have said on YouTube about me, or whether they give me a thumbs down or whatever. So I don't really take it too serious. YouTube for me is an escape from the boredom of everyday life.
When I first started YouTube, I took every single comment to heart. You know, even the ones that were not so nice, you know what I mean? But after a period of time, and the more you grow as a channel, you have to realize, not to become callous per se, but not to care necessarily as much about those people that are being derogatory towards you, or just being negative for the sake of being negative. You start learning the difference between someone just poo-pooing on you because they don't like you, and someone poo-pooing on you because they don't like your content. You know what I mean? At least they, most of the time, will have the capacity and the wisdom to tell you why.
Well, that's it. And but the only other side I see of that, if someone doesn't like your content, they can just move to another channel. It's not like there's only one channel to watch on YouTube. There's so many channels that are out there. There's for people to we say constantly saying, "Oh, that channel's rubbish. This channel's rubbish." Why do they keep coming to this channel if it is? That's what
exactly.
I can't understand.
That's what I can't figure out. It's people that can't let things go. That's the key right there. Is like, I don't like this person, but I got to keep an eye on this person. You know, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I got to keep an eye on this person. So you can do that. Continue to give me watch time. Just don't be belligerent in the chat.
I'm just going to say a few highs there to a few people that have come in. Because we don't want them to think we're leaving them out. So there's, I don't know how you'd pronounce this person's name. I'll let you have a go at it, Gil. How would you pronounce that? Tiger
Muskian.
Something like that. Welcome to the channel.
Good to see you.
Great to have you in. Barry West, I said hi to Ian Matthews. Scrapman50, great to have Scrapman50 in. Was up on Raphael's panel last night, was Scrapman50. He has some nice gold ounce bars or coins. He was showing us last night. Sweet. Mike has it. Great to have you in, Mike. Mo Homesteading.
Hey, Mo.
Who else is there? I think that's the new ones that came in that I missed as they were coming in. I don't think there was anyone else. I just want to go back in case. Oh, Romatic. Welcome in, Ro. Great to have you in. And
it's great to see you.
Iverson Gold is in as well. Iverson Gold, I think it's from Brazil or somewhere. So welcome in. And I think that's it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open it up to the chat. I'm going to put the link in. So if anyone wants to come up and ask Gil anything they want, And again, the usual, if I don't see your face in the basement, you won't be getting up.
Right. I'm a pretty straightforward, simple guy, simple scrapper. Yeah, I'm an open book. So
yeah. Is there anything you want to talk about while we wait and see will anyone get into the basement there?
I can't think of anything. I can say that I'm grateful that I found a community that I can, consider myself a part of, being in the scrapper community, even though I'm a part-time scrapper. I really enjoy watching you guys and you guys reciprocating, you know what I'm saying, and coming to my channel as well. It's been great, and I've met a lot of close, good friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's that's one thing I found about that I like about this community is everyone kind of sticks together and they help each other out. And if someone has a question about something, even no matter how stupid you might think the question is, people will still take the time to answer it, even if it's an obvious answer at the end.
Right.
Take the time to give it to you, you know?
In a way that doesn't slap the person upside the back of the head.
Yeah. In a way that says, Jesus, why'd you ask that stupid question? But Jesus, everyone's a bit shy tonight. No one wants to come up in the basement at all yet. But there's.
It's all good. It's all good.
Well, again, it's a Sunday, so I don't usually go on a Sunday. So
I appreciate you accommodating me like that.
Oh no, it's no issue for me. So listen, there's no issue for me to come on a Monday or a Sunday. Makes no difference. I'd probably still go on tomorrow night anyway, just as a normal live tomorrow night.
Yeah, why not?
Tonight and do the quick chat with you so that we could see what you're up to, what you're planning. So you're on about your videos there, actually. So what videos have you upcoming for us to look at?
I just got done filming the one on the blender. I disassembled and micro scrapped the blender. I'll be micro scrapping a cordless phone housing setup with an answering machine. It's like one of them old fashioned jobbies. I've got a 100 amp amplifier that I'll be taking apart. That should be interesting. And I've got some old gaming stuff too that I might do. I still need to do some research and make sure that I'm not going to be taking anything apart that's like really valuable, if it works. But,
I think we touched on that off here, that if you break anything that someone thinks is going to be worth money, you could be in awful trouble.
Absolutely. You could have some pretty gnarly comments in the end.
They'll be telling you, what are you at? That's worth whatever,
Right.
So if anyone there's no one wants to come up, but if anyone has a question in the chat, just put it in the chat and we'll ask it there. You can ask it there because some people mightn't have want to come up on the panel. So we'll just, before we let Gil go, because I don't want to keep him all day because he's other stuff to be doing. So if anyone has a question, we'll say in the next minute, and if not, we'll let him go. So while we're waiting to see if anyone puts anything in the thing, I'd like to thank you for all your help personally. When I started in the channel, I was on, when I would say started going to your lives, I might have been on 200 subscribers. And I'd say within a couple of months of being on your live and maybe Pusha Studios and maybe Recycle Dude, my subscribers went way up, and then my watch times and stuff. So it would help from all you guys that kind of done it, So I'd like to thank you, because again, it would have been easy to give up on YouTube only for the help that people were giving me. Only for that, I'd say I would have probably given up on the YouTube,
That's what it's all about. I mean, you're a great YouTuber, you're a great friend, and I'm glad you didn't give up. And that's truly why I do the live streaming I do. That's why the Dude Rocks does what he does. And you're reciprocating now. I see that you're doing it for other people. You're bringing them up and you're interviewing them and you're giving them exposure as well. So that's cool.
Well, that's it. It's kind of pass on what was done for yourself and pass it on to the next YouTuber. Like we said, there's a young YouTuber there. He was in at the start. Mark Stone. He's only on, I think, 100 subscribers at the moment. So, and I'd say he's only 19, 20 maybe, and he's got into the scrapping. And hopefully he sticks at it, and he makes, he'll be, maybe in 10 years' time, he might be the person with the 1 million subscribers that we'll all be saying, well, I remember him when he had only 100.
Right, exactly.
But other than that, so I don't think anyone wants to come up. So I'm going to have to call it at that and let you go do your whatever you have to do for the rest of the day, and I'll probably stay on for about another half an hour, and then I might do my full live again tomorrow night, or I might not. Oh, hold on. There's someone in the basement. Oh, Jesus. Hold on. You mentioned hammers. So,
I know who's coming.
Guess who it is?
Sir Ian.
Oh, I'm all fit. Look at me, I'm all fit.
Up, right?
Oh, Bob, a pleasure to meet you on panel again.
Likewise.
Really Likewise. I've got this issue with me webcam. I unsynced. Is that the word? Unsynced Google, and since then, my webcam has been blocked by Chrome. So I'm on my phone at the moment, but I could not resist coming and meeting you on panel. You know, yourself, Jude, and Jude, Recycle Jude. I mean, we go back.
Yes.
You know, and you'll always be there as good friends of mine.
I appreciate it.
And Irish, of course.
There was a tear in my eye there, Ian, for a minute.
I feel the same way, my friend. I really do. You're one of the, you're one of the foundation. You know what I mean? I consider there's a bunch of people that you meet when you first start out. I consider you one of the foundation people. You know what I mean?
Thank you very much. Been a bit quiet these days because I'm on a fortnight's holiday, and it's like get everything done. You know, decorating inside, outside, painting the fences, the flags, everything. So it all takes time. So that's that question I want to ask.
Oh boy.
How do you find the time between that and work?
Between scrapping, you mean?
Yeah, and YouTube.
And YouTube. The best answer I can give you is on a wing and a prayer, my friend. Honestly, because between everything that's going on with my wife and work being crazy busy, and them offering up overtime, and like maintenance and things I got to do with my father and mother, on a wing and a prayer, I try to fit it in when I can, because I still have a passion for it.
Do you ever get this problem that I get, is that somebody will give you a piece of scrap? Normally, if you're not doing YouTube, it's coming, scrapped, gone. And then you get hold of it and you go, oh, that'll make a nice YouTube video. And then you keep hold of it forever until you can find the time to do that video.
Oh, yeah. There's stuff in my garage right now that I've had for probably 6 months.
6 months, part-timer.
Yeah, exactly. Part-timer.
Ian Matthews has stuff that's in his garage for 20 years.
Yeah, considerably a lot longer than that. I've got stuff in here that was my granddad's.
He takes Ian Matthews. I love Ian Matthews because he takes recycling to a whole new level. Not only does he recycle and cash stuff in for money, but he takes it and repurposes a lot of stuff too. And that is super cool.
Oh, you mean like me pig?
Yes, like your pig.
Hang on. No, you're not getting this one.
Oh, no, I've not seen that.
This one.
That is cool. What is that, a propane tank?
It is, yes. Because you can see that's the handles. That is cool. You can see the handles. Yeah. Oh, hey, you can hear you in there as well. But it's proud you're not getting feedback.
Can hear a little bit.
Listen, the customer picked the colour, not me. The customer.
I was going to say, Ian, did you find the paint when you painted that colour? I thought you must have got the paint for free.
Well, I did. Yes.
If anyone doesn't know, I always say that Ian is a cheapskate, but he really isn't. In all fairness, when I did meet Ian, he did get us double whiskies and everything that night. But I didn't drink them properly for him. I just swallowed them down, and he was a bit upset.
Gil Skillz. Listen, he'd come from Ireland. He'd come to England. I bought him a double Welsh whiskey. Here, sipping whiskey, and he just went, "Gone." That was nice.
So, how long did it take before he started getting a little wobbly? Then again, he's Irish. He may not have.
I wasn't the one that fell going up the stairs or tripped going up the steps. Anyhow, I know that much.
You wasn't trying to do a Rocky impersonation, though, was you?
Adrian.
That was a good night. Now I enjoyed that night.
It was a good day. He even took me watch. Do you know that, Gil Skillz?
He took your watch. Wow.
I don't know where it is. If I had it now,
That's it.
I didn't take his watch. He gave me a present of a watch, and he told me it was a genuine Rolex. You know, the Rolex wrote on it and everything. I tried selling it when I got back, and I nearly got bet up because it was a fake.
Jeez.
I've always thought that Rolexes were made in Hong Kong anyway.
Yeah. But there was just there now while you mentioned it, Gil. I because I see a lot of people in the community would want to say this, is that we all wish your wife well in her operation that's upcoming. And I don't know, does everyone know how serious it is or whatever? And it's up to yourself whether you say it or not. But if you wish to tell in the community what's happening, that's up to you. If not, we totally understand. So.
Oh, I've made it quite clear in my live streams, and I'd be happy to say it now. I mean, my wife was diagnosed with kidney cancer, and we are going through the motions and getting ready to have that kidney removed. But the road doesn't end there, because her remaining kidney was operated on when she was younger, and it's only operating at 25% capacity. So once she has the full kidney removed that has the cancer, we have to monitor to make sure that she doesn't go into renal failure with the remaining kidney. If she does, then she'll have to go on dialysis and be put on a donor list. But the light is at the end of the tunnel. It's not the end of the world. Everything's being closely monitored. And, worst case scenario, we find a donor and she gets a kidney, but we're trying to be optimistic.
Yeah. So I'd like to take an opportunity to say that, I wish you all well and all the luck in the world. I'd say it's times like this when stuff like that happens to someone that you realize who your friends are and what's important to people. So
and what's important.
Yeah. So I wish you well and hope everything comes out perfect for you. I appreciate. I'm sure everyone in the chat wishes you well as well.
I appreciate
that. I don't know. He's Southern Ireland, aren't you? So
yeah.
Not quite the same as the UK. So in the UK, it's the type of thing where, it's something to worry about, but you don't have to worry about the expense about it, because we have the National Health Service. Although it costs an arm and a leg if you're working to pay into it.
Yeah. We worried about the money for about maybe the first 4 days when she initially went into the emergency room, when she had the symptoms. There was pain on her side, and she was peeing blood and whatnot. Not to get too graphic, but when she was in the emergency room and they started doing all these things, she started breaking down and crying and saying, "Hey, we're going to go broke. We're going to end up paying a lot of money." And I told her right then and there, I said, "I'd rather have you here another 40 years than worry about the money right now. We're going to get through that." And it really hasn't been that bad thus far. Thankfully, through the miracle of work and a few other things, we've been able to keep up with those expenses.
Yeah,
that is good.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's end up on a lighter note.
Yeah.
So what are you going to show us, Ian? What are you going to show us?
Oh God, listen. What I've got to show you is it's still daylight, as you can see, and in the garden there, I don't know if I can show you this, is a load of scrap gas bottles.
Nice.
They've got to be shifted tonight. Before I go to bed, they better be gone. I'll be sleeping in the shed.
Or you might wake up with something stuck in your back.
Yeah, definitely.
But what was I going to say there to you? This isn't usually my time slot, so I'm just going to come on and do this interview. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let everyone go, because I'm sure they have stuff to be doing this evening, and I'll be back tomorrow night at my usual 8 o'clock time. If anyone wants to join me, they can feel free. You never know, Ian Matthews, you might sort out your computer problem.
Yeah, I think what I've got to do, I've got to uninstall Chrome and uninstall my camera and then reinstall both.
Yeah, I think that would be the best. Or did you try downloading Firefox or one of them and seeing would they work with it?
No, I haven't. But the thing is, it doesn't work on Microsoft Edge either. So
okay,
some settings somewhere I put do not trust this camera. The sound works, but the camera doesn't.
Yeah.
So, I like artistic videography.
In my experience, Chrome has been the only.
You fell. It looked like the same angle where you fell.
Right. Oh my! Oh man!
Oh, hey, I'll show you this. I will show you this. Oh, hang on. Oh, hey, I've got this. Got it. Oh shit!
Oh, hey, no repeating history.
This is because I've only allowed one can of beer today, so I got a big one.
Smart. Nice. That'll do it.
As you can see, I've already fell over that stool there. Oh, bugger off.
Right. Anyhow, I'm going to call it at that because I have a few things I need to do, and Gil has a few things, and you've beer. You're going to be. I can't risk having you on too long when you're drinking because you might just do something stupid.
What again?
No.
But I'd like to thank everyone in the chat who popped in on a Sunday. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check and see if there's anyone live that I can send you over to.
Dusty Blonde, of course.
Is she on?
Yeah, this time every week.
Nice.
Oh, actually, hold on now. The Dude Rocks is on, I think. Is he?
Is he?
Let me check.
Come on, Gil. You was there with me.
I was. I didn't know if he was still live or not.
Oh, no, he's gone off. He's gone off. No, it's just I hadn't refreshed the screen. So I'm going to send people over to Dusty Blonde. Give me a second and we'll
all right, listen, I'm going to quit off the iPad. And
Ian, thank you for coming up.
Bob, it's always a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. You're awesome, man. Keep being awesome.
I'll see you a lot later. I've got a load of mess to clear up yet.
Ian, take it easy. Hold on now. I'll just pause this. I'll turn the sound down. Ian, thanks for being on. I appreciate it.
Bye, everybody in chat.
Bye-bye.
Scrap and Irish, I wanted to say thank you for having me. This has been a blast.
No problem at all, Gil. I appreciate you giving your time up to come up, and it was brilliant to have you on. And as I said, you're one of the people I wanted to definitely get up on the 60-minute chat, the Q&A, because I find your channel very interesting. It was one of the first channels I got interested on, and it's kind of all the help you give me as well when I got into YouTube. So big thumbs up to you for that, and I really appreciate it. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to put the link in for Dusty Blonde, and that should be her there, I think. And if you just want to put in when you go in, Scrap an Irish Raid, and I might be back tomorrow night. I'm not 100% sure yet. It depends what I get up to tomorrow, and if I don't explode in the shed with my chemicals, might be able to make it. So, guys, if you want to go over to Dusty Blonde and give her, if you're not familiar with her, she's the better half of Snobby Scrap Picker, and say you came from Scrap and Irish, and I'll see you all over there. So, Bob, thanks for coming in, and I really appreciate it.
See you later, guys. Thanks again, Scrap and Irish.
Bye-bye.